And today we're going to talk about Apple, which has just held its WWDC 2025 event and unveiled a major update across its entire ecosystem. This video is so comprehensive that I actually built a mind map of the entire event, which lasted over an hour and a half. So if you have an iPhone, iPad, MacBook, Apple Vision Pro, Apple Watch, or anything else, stick with me until the end of this video. Rodrigo, how do I download this mind map? Keep watching the video because I'll explain how you can download it, okay? Stay with me. Today's video is gonna be quick. Also, leave a comment below. Are you on Team Apple and staying until the end of this video to praise Apple? Or are you on Team Android and watching this video just to criticize Apple and say Android is way better? Leave a comment below. I wanna know. Let's go straight to my computer screen. Let's talk about this video here, some Apple features. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Want to see something dazzling? Later this year, all your screens will get brighter with this liquid and fluid look.
Well, this design here, it has a kind of glassy effect. It actually comes from glass, which started with the Apple Vision Pro, which is for a select few, obviously, that Apple headset. It had this sort of transparent design, and now they've brought it to the whole system. Why iOS 26? Why Apple iOS 26? Why is everything 26? Because Apple simply decided to change things up. For example, the headset device ecosystem was still on version 1, right? So what did they do? To avoid having like one device on version 1, another on version 4, another on version 15, and so on. Now all the systems, the watch, the headset, the computer, the tablet, the phone starting next year, they'll all be aligned. They usually release the new versions in September, right? And since it's already the end of the year, they just use the following year's number. It's gonna be just like Android. Android does that now, right? It also uses the year, right? If I'm not mistaken, let me know in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But let's keep going here then. So there's a new design that's kind of transparent, right? Let's keep going here.
Clearer, more clear.
Here, look, you can see it better here.
Clear, kind of 3D. It even looks more like you, but it's not just about looks. Making group decisions is going to get a lot easier in messages. You'll be able to create polls.
Well, here you'll be able to create polls in the group, but in this case, it's in the Messages app. For those of you watching me in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German, in some countries like the United States, for example, people use Messages more than WhatsApp, for instance. So what happens? For some, it will make sense in the United States. For example, it's great. You'll be able to create polls here in group chats. For Brazil, for example, which is one of the countries, if not the biggest country that uses WhatsApp, polls are already available on WhatsApp. So it doesn't really make much sense, right?
Your group chats. No more fighting among friends because splitting the group bill will be.
You'll also be able to send payment requests, which you can already do on WhatsApp. You can already do that with Nubank as well.
A lot less complicated with Apple Cash. And these conversations will have even more personality with these beautiful custom backgrounds.
Now, what can you do? You can use this custom background in groups, and when the group admin changes the background, it won't just change for the admin, it'll change for everyone. That's cool. But come on, we want to see where's the artificial intelligence? Where's Apple Intelligence, right? Anyway, let's keep going here.
Messages and calls from unknown numbers will be filtered and sent straight to the trash.
Ah, that's pretty interesting. So what happens now? Artificial intelligence will, for example, if you're in silent mode or you get a call from a number you don't recognize. So what are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. The artificial intelligence will listen to the conversation as if it had answered the call, so to speak. And then it will listen to see if it's important. If it is important, it will say, answer it. So, for example, let me grab my iPhone here. I get a call here, right? So it starts ringing here. So what's going to happen? Let's suppose it's someone like the Amazon delivery guy, for example. Then he says, hey, Rodrigo, I'm here at your building entrance, but I don't have the number, right? Then the artificial intelligence will listen to this conversation and say, hey, this is important as an Amazon delivery person. Someone wants to deliver something to you. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The problem is with telemarketers, right? They always say it's important, don't they? They call and say, Dr. Rodrigo, this is important. I'm calling from the bank. I have some information and so on. You'll have to filter it, but the feature itself is interesting. Comment below what you think.
Have you ever wished someone would wait on hold for you? The iPhone does that. Just press this button, do whatever you want, and you'll get a notification when it's time to answer. FaceTime a new look with Face. Find what you're looking for in photos, just like in.
Now, FaceTime will show people's faces. So that's pretty interesting.
Super simple integration. It answers, they are created.
Here we missed it, right? In this case, it's the Photos app that got a major update. It even looks a bit like Google Photos now, which is pretty interesting. But it got kind of confusing, didn't it? They changed a lot of things really quickly. I thought it was disorganized. Leave a comment below. But there was an update to improve that. I'll tell you later when this version will actually be available.
Find what you're looking for. With super simple navigation. Attention, content creators. No more awkward recordings. Start and stop recording your videos using your AirPods. Just press and hold.
That's interesting. That's interesting. What do I usually do when I'm recording with a lapel mic or something like that? I have like a little button, right? In this case, I use a little button, but I also use the little keyboard here, right? So I leave a little button here, like the enter key. I press it here, leave it on the table, then I press it, and since it has Bluetooth, then it stops. In the case of Samsung here, which is also wonderful, right? Praising Samsung on Apple, you have the little pen, so you press it here, and it pauses too. It's pretty interesting. With headphones, it's complicated because like, oh, I want to stop. I have to do this. Ideally, there would be some hidden button on the screen that I could use to pause. Maybe I want to do this with a teleprompter too. Maybe I'm reading the news here and so on. I can do that, right? It's running, right? Anyone who's used a teleprompter, I can press it, stop the text there to do some improvisation. So just press here. Anyway, right? To stop and pause, like suddenly you set up the camera in front and then you press to start and stop. When you don't have someone to help you, it's interesting, but yeah, right? It's been years, right? That's it. But anyway.
Apple Intelligence is getting some really cool updates. It will translate your messages and calls in real time.
That's really interesting. That even happened with Microsoft when you use the meeting app. Man, you can like, you speak in Portuguese, the other person already like hears it in English, then they speak in English and you already hear it in Portuguese. So it's wonderful. You already have this on your phone through ChatGPT and Gemini. Apple is just now coming in with Apple Intelligence, which for now is kind of embarrassing. They kind of tried to connect ChatGPT. It didn't work out, and we were expecting them to partner with Google to bring in Gemini like they do with the Google browser, for example, right? With search, with the Google search engine. But it didn't happen, right? I'm just letting you know now. It didn't happen. They're still on Apple Intelligence, and they've killed Siri. They didn't say anything about Siri, thankfully.
It's vanilla and scotch water with orange in the paste. That's my secret.
Look, she's speaking in Portuguese. Here, the English subtitles are already showing up, but it's not available yet, right? Now I ended up making a mistake. Sorry. There still isn't a translation for someone speaking in another language like I use here on YouTube itself. For example, I have 12 channels. Out of those 12 channels, 9 are monetized, and I have channels in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German. And I don't speak those languages fluently. I use artificial intelligence to help me, and I monetize. I make money using artificial intelligence to expand my skills. In fact, I have a mentorship program called Master Monetization with Artificial Intelligence, where I teach my mentees how to use artificial intelligence for people who already have businesses. For example, to improve processes, do things faster, do them better, with lower costs, and increase profits. And for people who don't yet have any source of income in this area, who don't work with this yet, I teach and guide them to build it from scratch. All right. So continuing with the Microsoft tool, you speak and it already translates, but it translates not just as subtitles. It's like you're speaking in another language. Here on Apple, for now, it's just subtitles.
Turn all those important screenshots into events you'll actually attend, events that matter to you.
That's cool. That's cool. Like it's already available on cell phones, in apps, and I have it on my Meta glasses, the Ray-Ban Meta. So what happens? You go there, take a picture of an event, and Apple Intelligence, the artificial intelligence, will recognize that it's an event and will automatically add it to your calendar.
Now you kind of have a mini workout partner on your watch. You're crushing it. Posing that movement ring for 6 days in a row.
Well, I have an Apple Watch. I use it a lot. I even got used to sleeping with it and everything. And basically now you're going to have a personal trainer, right? So it'll say, come on, you can do it. You're almost there. Only 2 kilometers left. You're awesome. You've already burned 750 calories. So that's cool. Really cool. Having a personal trainer right there in your ear.
There's a new games app where all your games and friends will be in one place.
Well, a new gaming app for those who play, so it'll track your performance, your points, your rewards, and everything else. Apple Arcade is a really cool thing because Apple doesn't focus on those little games that are like free in quotes, but keep charging you, selling you outfits, selling you music, selling you dance cell. I mean, in most cases, I don't know if any game does sell those, but for the most part, they don't. You just pay the subscription.
Oh, on the Mac and iPad, your desktop can be as cute as you are. Just look at these colors and folder icons.
Right here, cosmetics, right? Changing folder colors.
Speaking of which, the iPad is on another level. You can multitask with multiple windows.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Look how interesting. It took the iPad, I don't know, 15 years to get a WhatsApp app. Now it's finally going to have WhatsApp. They're saying that by the end of this year, Instagram will be available too. Since there isn't a native app, right? You would have to open it through the browser, but there still wasn't this thing where you could open multiple windows and have these dividers, right? In each window, when you open several, right? Yeah, Windows and the options you have on the Mac, on the notebook, but not on the iPad, which was kind of embarrassing. And now it's going to have it. People are uploading right now. This is amazing. Wonderful.
And look, now there's something.
Here it is. That's it.
CarPlay is now even more with.
Look, it's this. From this screen, look, let's go back real quick. Look, it's this. Look, you have these options. Besides being able to open multiple windows, it's going to be just like a computer.
CarPlay now looks even more like an iPhone. You can react to messages and, in your case, leave for the airport at the right time with live updates.
So updates here in the car. So you have Android and you have iPhone, right? In this case here, it's the Apple Car system, right? CarPlay. Sorry, Apple CarPlay. And what happens? You can, besides having those little notifications, have you seen it on Waze? Like someone says, oh yeah, there's a pothole on the road. Then you can give a thumbs up to say that the pothole is still there, or that there's a car stopped on the road or police on the highway, and you press to say the police are still there. So some small interactions like that. And I thought this flight feature was really cool, you know? Like when you're heading to the airport and it says, oh, your flight is arriving. The flight is on time. The flight is delayed. Boarding has started. I think that's really cool.
Live updates. Wait, what time is it? It's time.
Look, this whole system, this update came from the first system here on the Apple Vision Pro, which so far has been a flop, right, guys? Anyway.
To redecorate, a small update to the wall clock. Maybe a little portal to the beach?
Look how cool. You can place floating apps, but they're fixed in place. What used to happen before? You turn it off and it would just disappear, right? All right. Now, of course, if you turn it off, it'll disappear. But when you turn it back on, it'll be positioned right where you left it. So you want to set up a workspace. Then you want to put, for example, oh, I want the clock to stay here. I want my calendar to be over there, and so on. It stays locked in place. So when you turn it on, your office, so to speak, is already organized. I found that window pretty strange, you know? I wonder if when you have a bathroom without a window, you put one in just so you don't get claustrophobic in there. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Correct me if I said it wrong, but you get what I mean, right? If you shut in there, yeah, a little window would be nice, right?
All right, I need to go. Bye.
What did you think of these new features? Leave a comment below. Just a reminder, if you want to download all the changes on your devices, all the updates, what do you need to do? I'll leave the link in the video description and pinned in the first comment. You'll go to a website, and on that site, you'll find all the instructions you need to download, okay? If you want to stick with me, especially in this Apple world, because there will be more videos about the new features, I'll leave this video click here to keep following me and stay updated on the news, all right? I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.